Tsunami survivors say goodbye to the loved ones they lost as the death toll hits 150,000. The U.S. pledges more money, and the race is on to get life-saving relief where it's needed. Also tonight, Hell Week for holiday travelers separated from their luggage Christmas Eve. Some still looking for it New Year's Eve. And one last look at 2004. The sights, the fights, and the bites.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
And good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm John Roberts. The new year has arrived in southern Asia, and with it a numbing new count of the dead from the tsunami. The United Nations now estimates 150,000 people in a dozen countries have died. More aid is arriving in the disaster zone. The first 100 tons of food, water, and body bags. President Bush today announced a tenfold increase in U.S. aid to $350 million. Some estimates say the death toll could reach 200,000. Indonesia fears more than 100,000 deaths there alone. About 7,000 foreigners are still missing, including 2,000 to 3,000 Americans. In Thailand, some vacationers were at this beach on Phuket when the tsunami hit without warning last Sunday. Today in Thailand, CBS News correspondent Barry Peterson reports it's one funeral after another.
Across Thailand today, the bells tolled for those lost to the sea. At virtually every Buddhist temple in Phuket, there were funerals and cremations every few minutes. Thai tradition dictates that the dead be buried before the new year begins. But it is not just lives lost. It is also livelihoods. Thousands who depend on fishing have no boats for their work. People who supported their families on an income of maybe $10 a day. And even if they could work, there is no market. People will not buy seafood, Mard told us. They're afraid the fish have been eating the bodies that washed out to sea. So this spry 68-year-old fisherman is trying to make ends meet by turning his motorbike into a taxi. But with so many tourists fleeing the island, his single customer today was this reporter. He took us to his tiny fishing village, population 1,000. Here, not one person died because they heeded the first ominous sounds of the ocean's growing wrath that Apached described to us as a low moaning. And then nature provided its own tsunami warning. When the birds started to squawk and scream, the villagers knew something was terribly wrong, that it was time to run for their lives. Today, some villagers are rebuilding, but recovery cannot really begin until the grieving ends. Tonight, temples are open for a nation in mourning. Tens of thousands are joining in a single prayer that those who died so violently will find their peace in heaven. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Phuket, Thailand.
Of the estimated 5 million people displaced by the tsunami, about 1 million are in the island nation of Sri Lanka. Correspondent Alan Pizzi reports on the struggle for recovery there.
The acrid smoke of roadside fires is replacing the smell of rotting bodies, a way to get rid of trash and the threat of disease at the same time. The recovery stage has begun in Sri Lanka, and it will be a long, dirty, and arduous process. Former homeowners salvage whatever might prove useful in the future, piece by piece. This father and son plan to use their old roof to rebuild nearby, but they will get little help.
Did you have insurance?
No insurance.
No insurance.
The owner of an appliance repair business had fire and theft coverage, but nothing for floods. Prasanta Pereira said he didn't live near a river. With no policies to collect on, the only alternative is to collect every possible piece of inventory and try to start again.
As laborious and painstaking as it is for people to put their own lives back in order, it will be an even more daunting task to repair the damage done to the overall economy. The government here is already talking of needing more than $1 billion.
Fishing is one of the island's biggest industries, and it has been ravaged. More than 5,000 fishermen lost their lives. The water that washed this train off the tracks also tore up huge stretches of the main coastal rail line, a vital transport link from the capital to the south. That will make it harder for aid like this U.S. plane load of water to reach those who need it, which is just about everybody. Rebuilding in tropical heat is a dehydrating business. But as the people here try to rebuild their lives, there's a pause for reflection and worship. The government has asked people not to celebrate this New Year's Eve, but to pray for the dead in the future instead. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Hayagala, Sri Lanka.
The destruction was worst where the tsunami hit first, the Indonesian island of Sumatra. Correspondent Mark Phillips reports the damage to the provincial capital of Banda Aceh, done in minutes, could take years to repair.
The devastation so evident on the ground is even obvious from space. A landscape once lush, scoured to bare earth by the sea. A harbor town vibrant and thriving before the tsunami, shredded after. The surrounding farmland, bountiful before, a flooded wasteland after. For reporters on the ground, the images seemed hauntingly familiar.
We only went about a kilometre, and it almost felt like we were driving into a newsreel from Nagasaki or Hiroshima. Such was the almost completeness of the devastation and destruction.
Finding and removing the corpses from this vision of hell seems almost impossible.
A Singaporean civil defence team had the somewhat unenviable task of going into that field of mud and of misery and searching for bodies.
They wait here for the next wave now, a wave of disease.
It's the contamination of clean water sources. It's the advent of raw sewage that's all leading to the major concerns for diseases, waterborne diseases here.
This landscape of death is now a breeding ground for more. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
In this country, Congress will investigate reports that U.S. experts had no way to give early warning of the impending disaster. One American researcher did try crunching earthquake data into this computer animation. Vasily Titov's minute-by-minute calculations indicated a tsunami far bigger than initial projections. His showing a wave of destruction that would hit coastline after coastline, making a final landfall 7 hours later on the Horn of Africa, 3,000 miles from the epicenter. Unfortunately, the tsunami had already done most of its damage by the time Titov's calculations were complete. American vacationers who managed to survive the tsunami are beginning to arrive home, safe, sound, and eternally grateful. Sandra Hughes talked with a California family whose fate was decided in an instant.
Tears of joy. Toasts to blessings.
To the important things in life, which are now abundantly simple and abundantly clear.
The Firmage family of Mill Valley, California is also abundantly thankful.
Amen. Bad luck, toast to everybody.
Hey, girls.
The day after Christmas, they were standing on the beach on a tiny island off Thailand when the tsunami hit.
Coming again! Coming again!
Everyone started running and screaming, and a woman pointed to my sister and said, "Run," and we all started running.
But 7-year-old Michaela dropped her school journal. Her dad stopped to pick it up.
I turned and I looked around my shoulder, and I could see the wave had now crested the beach and now was coming at us. And it was not so much a wave that was peeling, more of a wall of water. The sound was like a jet engine turning on and getting louder.
Then the Firmages made a split-second decision that saved their lives. They turned right and ran up a set of stairs.
And the people that went left got swept away.
It had been the happiest of holidays, but when it was over, they had nothing but the clothes on their backs and these images to take home.
The only thing we had was our lives, and that was the most important thing that we had.
And that's what they're celebrating this New Year's Eve. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Nightclubs in Buenos Aires are closed this New Year's Eve after a fire last night in a crowded club killed at least 175 people. Most of the exits had been locked. A club-goer apparently fired a flare that ignited the foam ceiling. A similar fire in Rhode Island last year killed 100 people. Commenting today on a new Justice Department memo on torture, the White House said U.S. policy has always been to, quote, treat detainees humanely. But the new memo, written in the wake of the Iraq prison abuse scandal, backs off a 2002 memo that said only excruciating and agonizing pain constitutes torture, and that President Bush could override bans on torture. Coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, still searching. Hundreds look for lost luggage a week after U.S. Airways holiday snafu, but the airline has even bigger troubles. We'll give you the inside story. Later, wireless web surfing. It's all the rage, but some people may be spying on you. It's the Friday Consumer Alert. But first, Dan Rather with this note.
CBS News honors fallen heroes. Stephen Rentamaki. As a boy, he played the violin, did some modeling, and liked to clown around. An adventure seeker who wanted to serve America, he joined the Marines. A gunner on a Humvee, he was killed by a roadside bomb. The day before he died, he told his sister he'd become the man he wanted to be and was at peace.
If you're one of the many Americans who had Christmas air travel problems, the Department of Transportation's Inspector General wants to hear from you. They've set up a hotline that you can find on the DOT's website. Many U.S. Airways employees are voluntarily working for free this weekend to reunite passengers with their luggage. Kelly Kobiea has the inside story.
Please come to U.S. Airways baggage claims office.
It's an endless treasure hunt.
My bags are either here, Columbus, or New Orleans.
Okay, let's and no one has a map.
Every day for 7 days I've been here.
More than a week after the holiday meltdown at U.S. Airways, hundreds of passengers like Frank Hoover are waiting at baggage claim.
All you do is look through the bags and hope that, that they missed it. But as each day goes on, you kind of lose hope that you're ever going to find it.
U.S. Airways is still trying to return the last of the lost luggage to its passengers, and in many cases can't tell them where their luggage is or when it might be delivered. Laura Stewart, your bag is at Philadelphia International Airport, baggage claim C.
We'll have your bags down here.
After 20 years in sales for U.S. Air, Kathy Kiley is working for free this week on the front line.
Okay.
An attempt to save an airline that may be past saving.
So you gave up your vacation for this?
Yes, I did. And I consider it well worth it.
If they have another glitch like they had over Christmas, they'll be toast.
Airline industry experts say the big carriers like U.S. Air will go the way of the dinosaur unless they can find a way to be more like their smaller, no-frills competition.
They just booked a flight to Florida and I booked it with Southwest.
While the gates are full with holiday travelers this week, most bought their tickets before the Christmas weekend disaster. Ray Repp might trust U.S. Air with his life, but not with his luggage.
We shipped them by UPS, yeah. Spent $200 or $300 shipping it by UPS.
What happened with your luggage? Do you know where it is?
I have no idea. No idea.
This holiday season, people like Ruth Paul may have lost their vacation and their luggage.
You mean they were dropping them off here?
But thousands of others, like Kathy Kiley, could lose their livelihood. Kelly Kobiea, CBS News, Philadelphia.
On this final trading day of 2004, stock prices closed a little bit lower. The Dow lost 17 points, the NASDAQ about 3. But the three major indexes finished the year in positive territory. The Dow up about 3%, the NASDAQ 8.5%, the S&P 500 up 9%. You're watching the CBS Evening News, and coming up next, if you think your wireless web surfing is private, wait until you see what some drive-by hackers are picking up in our Friday Consumer Alert. One of the big sellers this holiday season is the wireless router. It lets you link your computer to the internet from any room in the house, even outside. And that's where the problem comes in. Vince Gonzalez has a Friday Consumer Alert about drive-by hitch hackers.
It's called war driving, prowling neighborhoods, searching for open wireless networks that offer a free ride onto the internet. Frank Keeney is a computer security consultant.
What does that mean every time it beeps like that?
Well, every one of those beeps represents a wireless router that someone has installed in their home or their business.
It looks like a fair number of them are not running the security programs.
Yeah, that's right.
Most consumers skip this key step when setting up their wireless systems.
Next thing I'm going to do is enable the security so that
activating built-in security programs to keep others off their network. Those signals don't stop at your property line and can be picked up some distance away, as we found out when Keeney accessed our system.
I'm on the internet now, and it's through the antenna on the car.
He had our permission, but
there's also the possibility of people doing other malicious things like sending spam, downloading illegal material that might be tracked back to you instead of the person that is using it.
In fact, this man was arrested last year driving through Toronto using wireless systems belonging to unsuspecting homeowners to download child pornography.
This is crime of the future.
In Los Angeles, the Justice Department recently obtained the nation's first guilty plea for war spamming.
He found an unprotected wireless router and then used that laptop that was sitting in his car to send out adult pornography spam.
Keeney says with the right programs, trespassers can also track your email and the websites you visit. They can steal passwords and credit card numbers and look through your files.
Let's do this.
But a few easy steps that turn on security programs are the best way to protect against drive-by hackers. Vince Gonzalez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, the faces and fads of 2004. You could call it a pop culture free-for-all. What a lighthearted look back may tell you about the year ahead. The final story of the year is about us, about America and our culture, what we watched, what we heard, what we did in 2004. And also, Bill Whitaker reports what may be coming in the year ahead.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
They say if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. Well, if this year in pop culture is the roadmap, hold on to your seats. In 2004, we were shocked by this, shocked by that.
All I could say was, oh my God.
When it came to sports, we said that a lot this year. In amazement,
the Boston Red Sox are world champions.
In dismay and disgust. Can 2005 get any worse?
The brawl between the Pistons and the Pacers will turn out to be sort of the Watergate of NBA, at least, if not professional sports, meaning it will be the beginning of some reform and some real change.
Speaking of change, we changed our diets this year. First low carb was in, then perhaps out. In 2005, it's back to square one. Less food, more exercise.
Health is now priority number one.
A few crunches. That's all I need.
Maybe that's all for People Magazine's Sexiest Man, but for the 35% of Americans tagged as obese this year,
I used to be this big.
Where else to turn but reality TV? What is weight, build confidence, build a new house? There was a reality show for you.
Makeover shows like this one, which promises to make volunteers look 10 years younger, mushroomed on TV this year, changing the face of entertainment.
How old do you think Diane is?
43.
You could change your hair and wardrobe.
I think it's going to just improve my life altogether.
You look absolutely nothing like your former self.
And if you thought or wished shows like The Swan were a dying breed, think again.
There's been this period of time where the industry has really wanted reality shows to go away, but I'm afraid to say I think it's only just begun.
In pop music this year, Usher, rap, U2. Well, Paris Hilton says it best.
That's hot.
And likely to stay hot in 05. Ditto Jamie Foxx.
Well, I guess if you say so.
And Jon Stewart.
I never thought I'd say this. I miss voter fraud.
And look for the return
and I'll be back.
Of the domestic diva.
I will be back.
We have not seen the last of her. I think her second act is going to be even bigger than her first.
The incredible success of computer-generated animation means we're sure to see more in the future. So where's pop culture going in 2005?
It's going to get better and it's going to get worse. We're not clear where we're headed yet.
You heard it here first. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this year. Sunday on Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer will have the latest on the tsunami disaster. Guests include Secretary of State Colin Powell. Tomorrow night, 48 Hours.
Janet March was a vibrant young mother who vanished. Her husband says he and the kids now live in fear.
We're taking a lot of extra security measures, but I can't really comment on them.
Where is Mrs. March? A 48 Hours mystery, Saturday.
I'm John Roberts in New York. For Dan Rather and all of us here at CBS News, have a good night, a safe one, and we'll see you here next year.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, where you can find everything you and your family need at everyday low prices. Walmart, always low prices, always.